we're going to investigate the forward characteristic of a diode. The black end, the end with the black bar, is the cathode, and the other end is the anode. So the first thing we're going to be doing is setting up the circuit. So we want to start by connecting our power supply to our potentiometer. Okay, so we're using the 1 kilo ohm potentiometer to begin with. So this is just a variable resistor that we can use to change the current. So I'm connecting the positive terminal of the power supply to here and the negative terminal of the power supply to here. I'm now going to connect another lead from the center of the potentiometer to the positive terminal of one of our multimeters. So that is going to be our ammeter to measure the current. So the positive terminal is the red one that has the A on it. I'm then going to take another lead and it's going to go from the common port of the multimeter to the anode of the diode, like this. And then we're going to get another lead, which should be a banana alligator clip. And we're going to connect this to the cathode of the diode, like this. And we're going to connect it back to our potentiometer, to the same port where we connected the negative terminal of our power supply, as such. The final thing we need to do is to set up another multimeter to measure the voltage. This lead will clip onto the anode of the diode. And then we're going to take another lead from the common port of the multimeter. This will connect to the cathode of the diode, like that. Okay, so now our circuit is ready to take measurements. So what we're going to do is we're going to switch on our ammeter. So we need to put it on the DC scale, which is this one down here. So a solid line with a dotted line under it. And this is going to be a voltmeter, so we need to switch that to the DC voltage scale, like so. Now that we've done that, we can switch on our power supply. So before we do that, we want to make sure that our voltage is set at 0 so that we don't blow any components when we switch it on. So what we can do is we can adjust the voltage using the dial on the right. That gives the coarse adjustment, and then use the dial on the left to make a fine-tune adjustment. Okay, so now our voltage is set at 6 volts. Now we can start taking our measurements. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn the dial on the potentiometer. That will allow us to vary the currents, and we're going to take the corresponding voltage measurements. So you can see as we turn the dial, we can see the voltage increasing, but the current remains at 0. This is as expected. So it's still increasing the voltage, and now we can see a current is flowing. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to start the current at 5 milliamps, which it is here, and we want to take the corresponding voltage measurement. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to increase the current in 5 milliamp increments and record the corresponding voltage. So go up to around 50 milliamps, and that will be all the data that's required. Now we have a current of 50 milliamps on the ammeter. We record our voltage here, and that concludes this part of the experiment.